I tried to DNF this one 2 or 3 separate times. Just because a famous YouTuber wrote it does not mean it's good. Just because it got published does not mean it's going to be grand or be full of just perfect literature. Like, there are quite a bit of grammar mistakes, punctuation issues. This book is just awful. This book is, in all words that I could fit together, it's just bad. Like, that is all you can dumb this down to. And for those who don't know, for those who don't truly know, Brittany Louise Taylor is the author. She has been like YouTube OG content creator since way in the past. I think a lot of people probably know her from some of Shane Dawson's skits, some of which will come into play here on why I probably, in fact, noticed this quite a bit of times. This book goes between past and present tense quite a bit. It goes into past tense when it's describing something, a place, the people around them, or in the past. But when in the perspective of Evie, one of our main characters, and Maggie, the other one of our main characters, it is present. It becomes very distracting later on when Evie and or Maggie are in the now tense and they keep describing things as if they happened 20 years ago. So, there's that. Also, if you want to know what's underneath, oh, it's red and then this is sort of shiny. Meh. This should not have taken as long as it did. This was promised to be a thriller / mystery novel. You get it because, like, there's 5 people here, there's a girl, there's a haunted house, there's fog, it's a forest, it's a full moon. You would think, like, hey, murder mystery / how did we get here? This turns into a sci-fi novel. This turns into, I guess, more so paranormal. Out of nowhere. And this is sequel baited. Do not let me hear that there is a sequel to this. And also Saintsville. Just cover that up and just have the author's name at the bottom. And it has more sense to do than whatever the fuck I just read here. Anyway, so I'm going to read from the computer here because I have a lot to fucking say. How many pages is this? Oh dear. 5. I have 5 pages of notes / I need to keep this book on me because the grammatical mistakes are quite funny. And also, some of the stuff that they say, hey, don't do this or this is going to happen, one ear out the other, or it won't matter in the end. So why are you telling me? It's not like this is book 4 or 5 where this is being repeated or it's coming into place now. It's happening in book 1 when in reality, all of this should have been probably spaced out to be multiple books. Or actually, this probably should have been submitted to Wattpad so that way when these gaps are happening, she can go back and reread her stuff and see, hey, maybe I can add this here, or this here, or this here, or I don't know, take out the plot where we're going to prom or whatever the hell it's called. And also, fuck high school, I guess. Get your GED, otherwise you won't be able to become that grand paranormal monster hunter. Anyway, Yahoo, let's go. 22-year-old Eve and 16-year-old Maggie are driving through the Arizona desert roads, both at their breaking points. With their stuff packed in the back of the car, the only way now is forward to a small town of Saintsville, population 140, now 142. Reminds me of nowhere all over again. A little backstory on our girls. Their parents were professors and suddenly disappeared. All that was left behind was a large amount of blood in the research lab, and 4 years have passed since then. Needless to say, why we are here and why no one has taken them in, well, that is why we're here now with their Aunt Jill, who their mom has never gotten along with since an incident has occurred. She offers to take them in and work at her coffee shop. Also, their grandmother was murdered a few months before the girls' parents disappeared. That probably means nothing, and you'd be right. Jill hands them the keys to their grandparents' old house, and it's run down as hell, as Maggie doesn't like Jill, or anyone, but more so based on the fact that their mom and Jill stopped talking to one another, and that's on them. Could be 1,000,001 reasons why. Ask her or live in the world of possibilities. I don't know. I don't know. Also, if you're curious, why don't you ask her? But even then, who cares? It doesn't matter in the end. Because you'll find out why. But then, someone's watching. Someone who knows them. And possibly what happened to their parents.
Oh my gosh! A floating shopping list! Ah!
I'm not a shopping list. I'm a ghost.
As the girls are cleaning, a black sports car pulls up as 5 guys with tattoos pull away a fallen tree, 2 of which could possibly be for each girl, or possibly a love triangle. Ooh. They happen to be their neighbors, and they are tough guys, manly men, if you will. Another thing that happens is Eve opens their grandmother's jewelry box and finds a pendant with a translucent center. So the people are looking for this. You had time. It's your fault. It is all your fault. Why these guys are suddenly around and everything seems to be going a little spooky. And this house has been abandoned, so what the fuck have you been doing? Putting on a fuzzy gray bathrobe and slippers, Eve patters out of her room, up the ladder, entering Maggie's space. Spotting her little sister, she grins. Her wild curls are especially voluminous this morning, hair sticking up at odd angles. The petite redhead looks like she is 5 years old again, minus the missing in with curves. May I remind you that the author is friends with Shane Dawson. You did not need to say that last part. Why did you say that? You could have just said she looked like she was 5 years old again. We finally get the names of 4 of the guys. Rowan, Martin, Tate, and Luca. And needless to say, their Aunt Jill does not like them. They're nosy as hell and a little weird. More gang-like, if you could say. The younger brother is named West, who's not there right now, and he's in the same grade as Maggie, who is already the talk of the school for being the new and alternative girl. They head home as Eve dreams of the Quins, like the Quileutes? No, maybe, actually. Not really. Just the name kind of like is connected. Now, whatever, fuck it. But anyway, she has a dream of the 5 saving her from this black monster, which is actually happening. The guys have orbs and shit, and their tattoos are glowing red. So you know they mean business. They manage to defeat the monster by surrounding the girls after breaking the necklace, demanding to know who they're working for. Of course, the girls are confused as hell as their Aunt Jill comes to save the day, sparing a whip and the same tattoos. Apparently the necklace is a lure, and only snappers have them. We have no clue who they are, so bear with me for a minute. But more monsters appear, and for some reason, Eve is loopy as hell. They rush to a safe zone, the coffee house. Of course it is. And after a tough car ride, they manage to kill them. Eve literally stops breathing, and they rush her back to the coffee shop, injecting her with some green serum, and she wakes up a day later, needing to be shipped off to God knows where. Both girls are confused as hell and get told that their parents are just like the Quinn brothers. So they abandon their children for long periods of time and said it was because of work. I'm glad to see that all preteen stories are the same mind length of I'm supposed to be your parent, right? You left them alone with no one but themselves to watch over one of another. Oh wait, Grandma died. Don't tell me she's one too.
Fucking people.
So the monsters they killed are like them in the sense that they're called the Changed Men. Don't worry, this name changes often. Basically, they, snappers, turn. It's essentially our turn to killers with no feeling, just killing. I'm explaining it this way because it's kinda how it's explained in the book. Correct, changed, but not unchangeable. Once a snapper turns, we have it in our extensive research been able to find a solution. Many argue within our sect that snapper are the next form of evolution. Martin explains grimly that nature is preparing us for a pending natural disaster that will once again cleanse the planet where only the strongest will be able to survive. They are the alpha species, the perfect killers. No conscience, they feel nothing. They desire nothing. The only motive is to hunt, to feed, and to eliminate. The mutations must be destroyed. Yeah, way to go into more detail about that. Please tell it again in such more driving detail later on in the series, guys. Oh, wait. That may be in book 2. Joke's on you. That's not here. The whole thing with the snappers is that they're attracted to electricity, and humans have abundance of that. What Eve had was a lure meant to protect and control the snappers. So it was a good, bad thing, and you broke it. The thing was that the snapper attacked trying to protect Eve. Okay, so maybe we should have kept those lures to use the snappers in a lab experiment to see how they changed them back to normal, or what made them change in the first place. Because all we know is that they changed based on mutations. Okay, where's the location besides electricity? And they talk about how they're kind of rare, but not at the same time. So, again, I ask, why did you break it? Eve has no clue she was using it, so why not let her keep it and see if she's the only one allowed to use it, or if it's a family lenience thing, or don't even get me started on the things the monster hunters are called. Zappers. Get it? Because these snappers use electricity? Zappers?
It's not funny, it's not funny, it's not funny, it's not!
And their parents, oh, how we must know. Very much alive and wanted fugitives, wanting to kill their own kids.
What a big happy family we got here.
EMTF. Emily meets Tom to fuck. Sure, that makes sense. Why not? Fuck it. Actually, no, it means Electric Mutation Task Force. That is the group name. Their parents are known as Chargers and, you guessed it, change people into snappers. And their parents almost got caught but fled. Also, the guys must have been watching them for 4 years or something like that. Watching them suffer, stalking them, doing God knows what. Needless to say, no one is having fun here.
What a big happy family we got here.
They head to Evergreen where they meet Beth, the Quinn brothers' sister. I'm going to take a break and rant real quick. No one respects Eve. Like, everyone treats her like she's stupid or trash. Or that whatever she wants or needs must come last. Or never should be a thought. Like, when Beth is introduced to Eve and Maggie is just introduced as Maggie, and Eve is the rough-looking one because they didn't give her time to change or even clean herself, or take into consideration that she nearly died. Her sister is 24/7 being so mean to the girl who has been raising her and acting like what she's doing is throwing everything at her. Like, every insult she's throwing at her is so mean. For no reason other than I could. Now, mind you, having a sister, being the older one, we both throw shit at each other all the time. But we both know that, hey, maybe we shouldn't be saying this shit because guess what? In this circumstance, we have no control over it. You're doing the best that you can. I'm doing the best what I can. So, shove it. And she's basically acting whatever she's throwing at Evie isn't sticking, but it will bite her one day. And when it does, Maggie is going to play victim. And I know Brittany wants us to see her fall for Woman, but like, why should I when no one has thought or done anything for us, the reader, to see she will, or should even be walking around like Eve isn't going to break soon? In this situation, I don't know if I would be even speaking because people would try to brush off whatever I had to say or tell me something worse, like that my parents never loved me and created me with the cells of the snapper. It's true, isn't it? It's so true. Don't lie to me. That's what happens. Because of course it is. After a day of sleeping in, her sister tells her to come down and follows before disappearing. She tries to eat and maybe gets 2 bites in before being dragged away by Riley. Also, apparently we're supposed to root for Luca and Eve to be together now.
How about no?
How about this? We get together and do a group therapy session. Riley takes them downstairs to a training arena before the Abbott sisters and Beth go to Riley's office. He shows them what their parents have been doing and basically killed some EMTF soldiers before wielding the necklaces before fleeing. The girls have a cry as they ask to join in capturing them. But what if they say no? You don't get to think like that, so shut up. Anyway, Maggie joins in because her sister is 1, a child, and 2, going to get herself killed. Eve joins. Why are you two not asking what if I say no? You wouldn't kick them out, would you? I mean, what would be the point? I mean, if you stay, people will kill you. If you leave, people will kill you. Also, just another rant. Maggie is probably bisexual, and you know what that means. She's overly sexual and or overly sexualized and horny. So needless to say, a stereotype. Again, that's not true. We know this is not true. But she flirts with a lot of people. She thinks about doing it with guys and girls. And she's very overly sexual. Mind you, again, she is 16 at this time. But also, teenagers, hormones, everything like that. But because she has these tendencies, it's more pointed to, hey, she's bisexual, and also bisexuals are horny as fuck, and also sexually, like, overly to the top, like, to the nines. Just a food for thought. Stop doing that. It's not true. It's never true. 2 months of training passed, but apparently Eve is behind her sister, but at times it says that she's getting better, then she's not. Anyway, we learned that there are 4 types of zappers. 1 is a smoker, 2 is flyer, 3 is jumper, and 4 is roller, and you need 4 zappers to take them down. I see no need for technicality of levels when apparently their parents made more and their children most likely becoming hybrids since Eve is having dreams of her being experimented on. Eve can't sleep and accidentally sees Maggie getting on with West and heads to the training room and through a set of double doors finds Luca training. Again, Luca is a dick. Stop making us root for those two when he does and will continue to belittle her. 4 a.m. on the dot, Beth and Luca charge into Evie and Maggie's sleeping quarters, physically dragging them out of bed and bring them directly to the cave. No shower, no breakfast, though thankfully they are appropriately attired. Beth had warned them that their new uniform was to be worn at all times, including sleep.
That was stupid.
When she peeks through their moonlight-filled chambers, Maggie's back in her bed, thinking her asleep. You know, that's how it be. Don't get your hopes up. Nothing but some teasing. Not even that. It's more like an attempt at that he can't be with her type of shit. Luca leaves as Eve follows shortly behind, leaving to her room. Oh, and guess what? West and Maggie watched all on the security cameras.
This is a disaster!
Eve is officially done with Luca. Thank you. And training begins where it's Eve versus Beth, and Eve chokes the absolute shit out of her. Wrong person, dude. You got the wrong fucker. She says that they're ready to get tatted, and Luca's like, I'll do it, and Eve rightfully leaves. She heads to Hot Springs where Rowan jumps in and the two grow closer, becoming her first friend there. She even admits she could do worse. Seeing the mischievous twinkle in his eye as he splashes water at her exposed head, her mind is changed once again. New potential friendship with someone who is attractive, Rick, and his cool hair? It could do worse. This dude literally is like, hey, do you want a trauma dump? I'll be here for you. I kind of enjoy your company. And she's like, you know what? I've slept with Dave the Slug over here. Like, I could do worse. He's just, like, at the beginning, you're like, oh, he's kind of just a flirt. He's a dick. But he's actually, like, a genuine dude. Like, he genuinely, like, has a personality. And Luca over here is just being a bitch. He's being an asshole for whatever reason. The two go jogging and head out of Evergreen. The two find a lake where the sun is rising and relax a bit, but Rowan grabs hold of Eve's arm, realizing she has marks on her arm. She's been having nightmares, and last night was maggots in her skin. She has a good cry as Rowan is the first decent person to tell her something probable for why she's having the dreams, and more or less it's stress / convenient foreshadowing. They head back to base as now it's time for tattoos. Luca, for some reason, is there too.
Disgusting!
Maggie goes first as Luca keeps trying to talk to Eve, saying him and Sophia were just sparring. Eve is not having it and even calls the relationship toxic. And she asks why he didn't kiss her, and he says it's complicated.
He's an asshole.
Maggie gets her tattoos on her arms, shoulders, back, and waist as Eve's up, and Martin says that he could give her 20/20 vision. Yeah, because that's a priority. It's not said where Eve's tattoos are besides her arms, but thanks, I guess, because apparently, like, she just gets it, like, right up here, and, like, Maggie gets, like, a lot more. I don't know why, but anyway. Something I didn't see coming is Maggie says thank you to Eve and apologizes for being an asshole.
I feel nothing.
They sleep, but Eve is woken by Beth, who tells them that since they're now members, they're gonna have a party and they need to get dolled up. So about those monsters and my parents, we have 62 pages to figure this shit out. This is one and only in the series, with no sequel in sight. We should have probably thought of stopping them, but we're not. So yeah, party. Let's go party. They're having fun at times as Evie is dragged off by Luca, admitting that he likes her, and they kiss. But before more smexy stuff happens, Eve begins screaming in pain. She's allergic to the tattoo. Now, I know there are actually people who are allergic to the red ink, and many choose just to get black and white, but she may kind of need these. They take her back to Evergreen and remove them from her arms, which are now just basically large scars. Luca invites her into his room and they make out. It's short-lived, so don't get your hopes up. Hey, remember when this book was called Saintsville? Yeah, me neither. So finally, we're going on our first mission to a power plant to stop these smokers. Maggie and Eve are told to watch Luca's body cam since it's their technical first day on the field, and Eve has no combat training with weapons. Why not? No, we should have had this by last month. Why? It's not explained, so shut up. They defeat the monsters, but it turns out to be a trap. Flyers, jumpers, and rollers emerge. Lightning strikes, but Eve continues on, creating smoke and tornadoes to defeat them.
Cool! Alright!
Eve highly doubts Sophia would be coming anywhere near her, especially now. At least her friend wasn't scared of her. Friend. Beth is good friend. Me so smart. Me talk caveman. Me no know how English work well. Please shot me. They had to handcuff Eve since they don't know what else she'll do. They go to the hospital back in Evergreen. Eve then puts together 2 and 2 that what is happening to her was because of her parents. Okay, time to tell Maggie and ask if she remembers this shit, right? Right? We tell her, hey, I think our parents may have done something to us and it's showing up in me now. Is it gonna show up in you? For 5 days, she's locked in a cell, and the only one she's seen is Beth, who won't talk to her. And why not Martin or anyone else? Shut up. Eve starts thinking, really thinking, is she and her sister test tube babies? Are they even related? If they aren't related, were they stolen? Were they adopted? Either way, she's freed, but is shackled as a precaution. Even Sophia and Lucia, were these villain people, at the beginning, they're they were standing in the way of Eve getting love. Same with Maggie, but also it was just kind of mean girl shit. And also I'm you have no personality, and also you're not a threat, so shut up. Even Sophia and Lucia are indebted to her, which is how Maggie got Sophia's ring. Totally thought Wes proposed. You almost had me there, book. You almost had me. They head to a helicopter and are taken to some treehouse outside of Evergreen. This is their new home. Your cuffs are disabled. You can remove them, but a chip has been implanted into your spine. If you go beyond 50 feet of the spot, you will be terminated. If you show any irregularities that I or my team deem a threat, you will be terminated. Clear?
Why are you gay?
So after a shower, some familiar faces arrive. Eve and Luca are officially done. And they do believe that Eve was created to join the Zappers and kill them. Yeah, they aren't very smart. That would be different if they stayed with their parents and implanted the whole Zappers are bad thing, but that's just stupid. Again, Eve is evil, or the butt end of the whole charade. During the night, Beth admits to Eve and Maggie that all of their parents were friends, and when they found out about their Frankenstein shit, they towed and they were killed for it. All goes to shit when a snapper slithers through the door and they attack. Once again, Eve kills them and even gets rid of the chip in her neck. Riley wants to kill Eve, but the others disagree. Eve feels more monsters coming as Maggie is grabbed by a snapper, and Adele, their mom, riding on its back. She leaves as Eve asks for what today's date is, November 14th, Maggie's 17th birthday. Eve, Beth, Martin, Tate, and Luca go to head back to the base to gather 15 people as she calls Jill asking for help. The end. It's been 5 years. Yeah, that's gone. No, this book is garbage. Here's another thing I just realized while looking into that. How did she know that her 17th birthday she was going to change? So hold on, because Maggie's 22, so that's like 4 or 5 years. And this timeline of events, they were in Saintsville for a week and some change. They were in Evergreen for 2 months and some change. Like, I'm going to say like 2.5 months. This whole story takes place in about 3 months. Like, seriously? Like, seriously? This book is beyond saving. You did not need to classify these zappers. You just had to call them that, and that was it. I do not get why it only seems like we have one person, and Martin seems like to be the leader. I forget there's another guy who comes and show them. Oh, Riley. There's another dude, Riley. What's his personality? There's Tate, who has no words hardly at all. I think maybe you can find him saying 2 things. And there's I don't talk about it, but like West and Maggie are a thing in like at school, the new school. West basically starts that school to get closer to Maggie, and those two are a thing, but like Maggie's like, oh, that's too much, like that's too much for me, and I'm like, okay, say what you want. And by God, I wanted to stop this multiple times because they treat Eve like shit. They treat her like she's nothing, like she's hot garbage. She is more or less a punching bag. And when they get so scared when she finally snaps, and I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't the person who's had to bottle up their emotions snap? I also would have liked to have seen like how, like maybe Maggie has like dreams of them at the house, and maybe Maggie's kind of struggling, like she's trying to go through school, she's coming home late from work and all that shit, like she's trying to do things, or like what Maggie's doing, like this is like during the times like before their parents passed, or even like during that time, because all of this too, like Eve is having dreams that her parents like did tests on her, and that she was in like a chamber of some sorts. It's also like, if you know that these 2 people are experimenting to create more zappers, like why are you not watching them more closely? Like apparently there's like not a lot of them, but also I'm like, you need to continue to do this, so you need to start finding people. There's all this place seems like it's so bare, even though there's a lot of people here. We don't get to see like training really, or like any of them trying to make friends, because all Maggie cares about is West. We see the Quinn brothers. Beth is like one of their other friends too, but she just kind of is there to be there. Riley doesn't get a personality. Tate definitely doesn't have one. Like, we don't see any other people talking to these girls, even if they're like, their families are traitors and all that shit. 100% this book gets, I think I gave it either a 2 or a 3, because you had me at the beginning where I was very interested, where like Eve is trying to do this coffee stuff and like she's struggling really hard. The stuff with school was kind of interesting, like the house. Oh, grandma's murdered in here. Okay, was she killed by the zappers, or was she killed by the parents? Like, was she gonna tell Eve what happened? She part of the traitor stuff too? Or did Eve tell her, like, what was going on? Because it's assumed that, like, Jill and Adele are not talking with each other. Also, I didn't tell what the dad's name is. The dad's name is Oren. He's not in this, really. So, again, it would have been better if you had Maggie having dreams of their parents, sometimes coming home, and sometimes it's just her or her and Eve, and it's whatever. Also, if I kept saying Evie, it's not intentional. Her name is Evie E, so I always say Evie, and it's not intentional. So, oops. Anyway, oh, there it is. I was like, where's the other thing? So, next up, what we're gonna take a more look at is Wolfpack. You see this Paramount sticker? That's more so the reason why. Book came out in 2004. He does have a YouTube channel. I did find that out. And he does talk about, he has done interviews with this series. and his excitement for this book, especially book 4, has detailed about how Paramount came to him. They're like, and I will go and we will watch the episodes. It's only one season because it got canceled, and we will see why. Maybe because Paramount likes to do a lot of shit. What is it right now? Like the 14th of July when I'm doing this, that South Park just got taken. Like all of South Park is gone from Paramount Plus. So we'll see about that. And again, this is a short one. This is like 176. It's short. And Saintsville was like 230. Conveniently short, but also I feel like I'm going to have a lot more enjoyment of this because werewolves. And also, I get to expect, hey, mystery, thriller, paranormal, we gotta save our sister, that sort of thing, okay? That's what I'm excited for. That's what I'm most excited for. Anyway, I'll see you whenever. Maybe I'll be doing a review. Maybe more book reviews. Who knows? See y'all later. Bye.